It's a party out there. I know a place. Welcome back, everybody. This is She and I. I am your host, Beloved. And like always, I have my very special host with me,
India Marie.
Ooh, India Marie and Beloved, the husband and wife duo. You didn't know you need, but you got us and we are here to stay. This is the best thing to happen on a Tuesday. Well, damn it, since Monday. Oh, it feels so good to be back. I know a place. Come on with the vibes, Beloved. I'm going to listen to the whole song when we get done. Thank y'all for having us. Thank y'all for welcoming us back. We missed you guys last week. I missed the hell out of y'all, man, last week, and we just so happy to be back. It feels good. It feels great. How you feeling?
I'm not gonna say all that.
Yeah, I know she's.
I don't know. Right now, he is like trying to like super hype it up. I know exactly why he's trying to hype it up.
I have to, because life happens. Just though life is happening all around you, and you have to beware. If you don't think life can't come and give you one of these, if you didn't hear it, there was a knock. You're wrong. Life is happening. And by the way, I got new teeth right now. If you saw me on the camera, you saw me
so
smile.
ridiculous.
I have Invisalign. Now listen, I don't have them in right now because I already have a slight lisp. But if I put the Invisalign in, it's suffering succotash. I mean,
is the Invisalign supposed to get rid of the lisp?
It's supposed to close. So for all intents and purposes, my teeth are straight. I got pearly whites. They're beautiful. Look in the camera. But I had this little open bite thing that opens up. And
it's like a pug.
It's like a pug.
Pug teeth.
So shout out to my homegirl. You know who you are. Thrust gang. I have a tongue thrust. I have a thrusting problem and a tongue thrusting. That's why I eat that. So
well, shut up.
But anyway, so when you have tongue thrust, your tongue pushes on your teeth and it opens things up. So it's really what happened. Anyway, I have Invisalign. And I don't have my aligners in right now because I'll be damned if y'all talk about me. No, y'all not finna say, girl, because most of y'all are women. Girl, you heard that podcast, She and I?
Oh my God.
B-Love said, C and I could not come on here and let you guys talk about me. So I took them out. They over somewhere. I took them out. Not supposed to. I'm supposed to wear it for 22 hours a day.
22 hours a day?
I can only
you
take
No, you definitely don't be following instructions.
I eat 30 minutes. No. I eat 30 minutes a day. So I take them out 30 minutes. I thought about something too. When it's that time, and when it's time to unwind and get some vagina.
Can you eat vagina with Invisalign?
I was wondering the same thing. Can I go down on my wife with Invisalign in? My mouth is juicy when I have it in, so that may be better for you. Oh my
gosh.
But as far as my retainers go, my aligners go, I don't know how like the juice is getting in the inside.
No, you need to go ask a Reddit group or something.
That's a good
ask the dentist.
I'm gonna do that. No, I can't because I work.
You should probably take them out. Like
I work for the people.
Infection, not infection. I've never given you an infection before.
Oh, the truth is out.
That's not what I'm saying.
Life is happening.
Saying if you like, so what?
What you mean?
I mean, what? I mean, you would just have vagina juice sitting in the retainers.
In your tray, yeah. So all them sucking on
nasty.
like a cow with curd. All that takes an Indian all day sucking on vagina juice.
That's disgusting.
I won't be doing that, but it's a possibility that if you eat vagina with Invisalign, that it's going to get encrusted inside of your aligner and you're going to be curd.
Okay, all right.
Thank y'all for having us back, man. I just had to tell y'all where we been.
He actually just did 5 minutes of nothing. Like
I told y'all about my Invisalign.
You didn't tell them anything.
It's not my truth to tell, Queen. I told y'all about my Invisalign. I just want to let y'all know. So, in the meantime, in between time, India, how was your 2-week hiatus? Indy's firm now. I'm not coming over here if I can't be myself. That's her thing. And I'll thank y'all too. Everybody out there. I posted the video, right? I thought the video was a great video on the Instagram page, but y'all like this hair, don't you? Look at this.
Stop.
Look at the hair. Check her out. She's going to start giving YouTube tutorials about how to make big hair.
I'm not.
Look at her.
And I'm not.
She's going to do Pilates and hair tutorials. She's ready. I'm just letting the people know what the vibes are. The vibes are out there. How was your week? You don't have to do it.
I don't have to do it, but I have to do it.
You don't have to walk on this ledge.
Well, because if I don't, I can't give y'all the energy that y'all need for this podcast.
Well, I got enough for, but if you're not ready to do this, don't have to
without talking about it. So if I start this conversation, it will be an abbreviated episode for sure.
She doesn't have to do it.
The only reason why I'm going to do it is because I have felt like I've been on a very lonely journey. And so I know that if I feel like that,
it's true.
I can't be the only one feeling like that.
Speak your truth, girl.
I cannot guarantee that I will get through this without crying. And I know that's why he played the song in the beginning of the podcast.
Please, come on, man. If y'all watching on YouTube, man, bear with us. You want me to hit the button first? You want to just get right into? Because I didn't know you were gonna do this. You just
go ahead.
You shock me every time. Here we go.
During the week, we got D.
Let's
chill. Let's talk on the podcast.
That's what India. I'm moving out of the way.
So, like he said, life has been lifing the fuck out of us. I just feel like I can't catch a break.
You know what's funny? So I ain't mean to cut you off, but when we first started the podcast, I'm like, man, there's only so much we could talk about. Like, we gotta, how we gonna keep this up? Keep living. You will find stuff to talk about. Life is happening.
Okay, so on
if you had it right now.
Let me pull up my calendar so I can get some dates.
We finna give y'all the exact timeline right now. Bear with us. She's not gonna give you a play-by-play. This is gonna be the abridged version of the story.
So, looking at my calendar, December, I finished Pilates training. Yeah, I finished Pilates training in December. That was December 12th.
We celebrating, baby.
That was the last day. And the whole time I kept thinking, I was like, where's my period? Where's my period? And so my period is never late.
Never. And I'm always on time with the pull-out.
And it just comes like clockwork. Like, I know exactly when I'm ovulating. I know exactly when my period's coming. It's just, so at this point,
it's
Pilates
coming.
Wrapped up. I'm like, 3 days, no period. And I just let it ride. I was like, maybe, my body's just stressed because I've been doing a lot of exercising and moving and, out of the norm. I mean, my last 2 Pilates training weekends were insane with the amount of Pilates that I did.
You were going nuts.
So, I took a pregnancy test on what day was 2 days later. So that Tuesday.
2 days.
And I was pregnant.
Oh.
So, let me see. It was great. I told Barrett.
Hey, man, how she did it was a player. I don't want to even tell y'all how she did it because y'all gonna mess the vibes up. But what she did, she wrote a poem, had it boxed up, had the pea stick in the box, had the vibes. It was an ultrasound, wasn't it? No, when it was a onesie. She hooked me up. Continue, Queen.
So I told Barrett that Saturday or Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, been pregnant. So
we gonna tell y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I
later on.
And then, all the other shit happened. So it's been like a very depressing past month. I ended up with COVID. I was sick for 3 weeks.
You ain't catch your break. Your
and of
grandmother
course,
passed.
I was going to say, I'm going through all of this and I'm still grieving my grandmother.
Yep.
Like I still have moments where I just sit and start crying because of my grandma.
I ain't making that no better. Y'all know me, man. I apologize.
So that was that.
Yep.
January rolls around. My first appointment is scheduled for the 12th or the 13th. So whatever day that Thursday was on.
The 12th.
Of that week. We go to the appointment. Sit down. She pulls up the ultrasound screen and she's talking to me and she's like,
Go ahead.
you supposed to be about 9 weeks, right? I was supposed to be 9 weeks. And I was supposed to be like 8 weeks, 6 days based on, the calculations or whatever. And she was like, well, baby's measuring a bit small. It's measuring 5 weeks, 6 days. And like she has the ultrasound, like she's doing it. It was a transvaginal ultrasound. For people who don't know what that is, it's they basically, instead of like the baby sound, like the ultrasound pictures that you see where they scan you on the stomach, they stick it inside of your vagina to see because they can get a more accurate picture that way. Mm-hmm. So she's like, there's just a tiny flicker of a heartbeat. But the baby's measuring 5 weeks, 6 days. So, and I'm looking at the ultrasound screen. I'm like, this don't look right. Because I know, obviously I've been through this before. And I'm I'm not seeing enough. Like, at this point, like at 9 weeks, I should have seen like a little baby.
Man, she could be an ultrasound tech the way she knew everything. I'm sitting there like, I was good. I'm little. That's what I was like. I'm small. I'm skinny. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yeah. So, she was like, you got to come back next week because it could be, maybe you ovulated later than you thought you did. But we just have to make sure. So you have to come back in 7 days.
I thought she cheated on me at first on everything I did. I said, aha, it ain't mine. Continue.
I do not need your comedic relief right now.
My bad. I'm trying. Go ahead. Keep going.
So, we go back to see the doctor. And she says, yeah, and I can see it in her face.
Bro, it'd be so crazy.
I can see it in her face. It's not good. And she's like, yeah, that usually means miscarriage. And honestly, from there, I didn't hear anything else she said. I just started bawling.
Instantly.
Because when we were in the ultrasound room, I looked at Beard and I said, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. That's what you told me.
And so I pretty much knew, but I had like an ounce of hope because she was like, there's a tiny little flicker of a heartbeat there, which if it's like a flicker of a heartbeat, it's kind of like what it would be at 5 weeks.
I was excited. Like, oh, we in there. We in the game. And you said, we not.
So when the doctor said, usually means miscarriage, I was like, okay. So I'm bawling. And then she was like, we're going to do your blood work and we want to check your progesterone. And if it's low, then we're going to have you supplement that because you need progesterone to support a healthy pregnancy. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we go get the blood work done. We leave and I'm devastated. So they call the next day. My progesterone level is low. And so tell
what progesterone is for the fellas out there, because I don't even know.
It's a hormone that, your body makes. Like women, we produce progesterone and estrogen, and so we need them both.
I thought it was just testosterone and estrogen.
So she called back and I have like my lab results in the portal and everything checks out fine. Like everything is fine. Even technically the progesterone is within normal limits. And so according to like the lab results, your progesterone in the first trimester should be between 11 and like 40 something. And so mine was 11.5. So I'm at the very end of it. I'm at the bottom. So they called and they're like, yeah, your progesterone is a little low, so we want to supplement you, until you come back in. So I'm like, okay. So I started supplementing with progesterone, and it's like a little pill. You have to stick it up your vagina because it also makes you really sick. And if you take it orally, it makes you sicker. So mind you, I'm already feeling like regular pregnancy symptoms. I'm already nauseous. I'm already super tired. And then I started taking this progesterone and I feel like shit for a week.
You were irritated.
And so...
irritated, to say the least.
I'm calling the doctor. I called the doctor or the nurse's line like twice between that first appointment and the second appointment. I'm like, is everything normal? And, should I be feeling like this? And every time I talked to somebody, they kept asking me, like, are you spotting? Are you bleeding? And it's almost, it was like expected. Like, yeah, they were like waiting for me to start that. And I'm like, no, like at that point, I wasn't spotting, I wasn't cramping, I hadn't been feeling like that. So I was just like, no, like I feel fine. So the next week, which was
last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Or no.
Week before last.
Week before last.
Yeah, the week before last.
So the week before last, that Thursday. So I went back on January 20th. They did the ultrasound, and I'm looking, and I'm like, this baby didn't grow. And the difference is that I knew that the heart wasn't beating. Yeah. That's the first time I could see the little flicker. And then when we went the second time, I couldn't see it.
Can I jump in and say something?
Go ahead.
That lady was so nice the second time. No, the first time, the lady was... The second time, it was an older lady.
Yeah.
She was so nice. I'm talking about... She did everything in her power to make sure that the baby, if it was there, she was going to find it. She twirling the wand around. She took about 30 pictures.
Yeah, she tried.
She gave it everything she had. So I just want to give it up for her.
So I asked her, I was like, is there still a heartbeat? And she was like, well, it's just too early to tell. But she's not knowing that I've already been here.
She didn't even look.
The week before.
Yeah, she didn't even look.
And so I was like, well, there was a heartbeat last week. So if there's not one now, it's the heart stopped beating.
She kind of walked out.
So sad. We went to sit back into the waiting room. They called us back to speak to the doctor. And I was kind of, it's like I knew what was about to happen, but it didn't make it real until the doctor said it. And so she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. And my doctor, she's so sweet.
She dope too, man. And you could tell she was the same thing. She was waiting out in the hallway. It was like she wanted to come right in there, but she waited out in the hallway, pacing, trying to figure out how to do it, what to say. But she came in there.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, the baby didn't have a heartbeat. The baby didn't grow. So they gave me 3 options. To either, for one, what I liked about my doctor is that she didn't force me to make a decision that day. She was like, if you want to go home, have a good cry, do whatever you need to do, and then make your decision, we're fine with that. And I was, at that point, I'm already bawling.
Oh, it was tough. It was tough.
Hold on.
I got you. I didn't know what to do.
So they gave me 3 options. They said you can either wait to pass. They say to pass the pregnancy, but the baby. You can either wait to pass it naturally.
Yep.
Or you can have surgery, or you can, which the surgery is, they call it a DNC, which stands for something I don't fucking know. And
what
then
did that stand for? Did you ever look it up?
I looked it up, but I could never forget it. It was like a long name. Or you can take a pill to speed up the process and have the miscarriage go ahead and start. And so I was just like, again, I couldn't even focus on what she was saying. And I was just like, well, what do you recommend? And she was like, she said multiple times that I could wait.
Yeah, she
like
kept telling you to
she
wait.
was like, you can wait. Like, you don't have to make a decision right now. And I was like, well, just prescribe me the medicine. Like, I'm just frustrated at this point. Just prescribe me the medicine. The medicine is the abortion pill. Like, that's what it is. It's the
Pretty
abortion
much.
pill. Like, you take the medicine and it puts your body into labor to pass everything. Mind you, at this point, I'm 10 weeks. So I'm losing the baby at 10 weeks pregnant. And I only have like 2 or 3 more weeks before the first trimester is over. So it fucking sucks. So I chose the medicine. And then the next day, I was out with Blake and I stopped to use the restroom and wiped and there was blood. And so I called Beard. I was like,
No medicine needed.
I was like, I guess we're going to do this naturally because it's already starting. So the next couple of days were awful.
Bruh. Not even to say the least.
And so I never, like, I've seen people talk about miscarriage a lot over the years and on social media. And even me being a woman, I just never knew what the process entailed. And so I always thought that miscarriage was like a one-day thing, like, you know, which, I mean, it can be if you choose the surgery.
Yeah.
Or if you are early enough in your pregnancy and you miscarry and you don't even know you're pregnant. Like that happens to some women. You know, they get pregnant, don't know they're pregnant, and by the time they start bleeding, it just it's like a period to them.
Damn.
So sometimes they don't even know that they're pregnant. But I was very much so pregnant. So my body literally like went into labor. And I say that because I know what it feels like. When I had Blake, I was trying to do unmedicated. And so I went without an epidural as long as I possibly could. Like when I had Blake, I only had the epidural for like 3 hours before I actually had him.
Girl, labor for 26 if you're new to the game. 26 hours. No medication. 23-hour lockdown.
And so I kept calling the doctor and I was like, I'm having contractions. And she was like, yeah, they're like the period cramps. And I was like, no, why do y'all keep calling it period cramps? I'm having contractions. Like, and I don't know if they say that to try to ease over the fact that you're like literally about to like pass a baby or what. But
it's heavy.
It was contractions. And so it started on Friday and then every day after that, it just got worse. So by Sunday, I'm in like pain. Like my back is hurting, my stomach is hurting, like all of it is just hurting. Monday is even worse. I told Beard, I was like, I feel like I'm in labor. And so I called the nurse again and I was explaining to her what's going on. She said, yeah, it sounds like you're going to pass the baby soon. I said, okay. Okay. So I sat there.
And I feel like every time somebody mentioned the word baby or anything, it got worse and worse.
Yeah. And so that Monday night, I was up all night because I was in so much pain. It's up. And because you're like losing a baby, there's not much that anybody can do. All right. So, like, you're not going to the hospital for them to give you an epidural. What they're giving you, they didn't even prescribe me any pain medicine.
I was trying to buy some Lortabs off the street. I'm trying to hit the homies who got the tabs.
They told me to take ibuprofen, but by the time I actually asked Beard for ibuprofen, which was when the pain was starting to feel like unbearable, this was Tuesday. He came home from work with the ibuprofen. And at that point, I knew I was getting close to passing everything. So I waited, and I was in so much pain that I couldn't even sit down. And so I was just pacing back and forth in the room. I paced back and forth in the room for 2 hours. And then that was it. Like I went to the bathroom, passed everything. And I couldn't get out of my mind. I was like, I was having such a hard time with it because the baby actually had a heartbeat. And to pass a baby in the toilet, I'm just like, there has to be
gotta be a
better way for this, but it's not. And I could have taken the pregnancy tissue to the doctor to have them tested.
What does that mean?
To see if there were they could have done testing on the pregnancy tissue. Okay. They could have taken the sac They
Okay.
could have told us if it was a boy or a girl. But I didn't want to.
You know.
Um,
Yeah, nah. I was okay.
and I would like to believe that there is nothing wrong with me.
Sell my first
For
tag.
them to have to test.
Yeah.
I think it just caught me off guard because Blake's pregnancy was so easy.
Easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl.
I was 26 when I got pregnant with him, and it's like we tried. Honestly, we had sex one time I was pregnant.
Put a date on it. I said, this is what I'm going to do today. This is how I'm going to give it up.
So when I was pregnant with him, it didn't even cross my mind that I could have a miscarriage. Like, and people weren't really talking about it like that. And so, you know, now there's more people talking about it. And honestly, like when I got pregnant, it was always something that was in the back of my mind.
And I didn't mind anywhere.
Me still being like healthy. Like
Bingo.
I exercise. I don't eat bad. You know, I eat what I'm supposed to eat. And
Yep.
I've never in my life been on birth control.
Never.
I don't struggle with any other like women reproductive issues. Like I don't have fibroids. I don't have any of that. So to me, I was just like, well, we're pregnant again. Like,
It's caught us by surprise.
Gonna do like, you know, we're just going through this again.
We going through the motions like everything just cool too. As soon as we find out, you know, because we thought everything was going to be just like the first time, we pre-planning, figuring out different dates to do, figuring out different items that we need to buy, looking at a different place to live even. Like this was a big deal. Over a 2-week span, we are officially about to alter our whole lives because we were ready. We're like, all right, let's go. We excited. We had, now we ain't got to look. We ain't got to keep Blake no more. Blake can keep somebody else. Now he has a responsibility. Give the kid to Blake. I was excited. And he finally got a kid. I had Blake. You know what I'm saying? So this was great for us. But then nobody plans for anything like this. I don't care how tough you are, what type of man you are, woman you are. Nobody plans for a situation to hit you out of nowhere like this because of everything India just said. She's healthy as an ox. I've seen her stretch. She does a rocking chair at night. I can't show it to you. She has to. But she's flexible. She can run. She got good wind. You eat healthy. You a shade tree vegetarian. So when all this happened, I'm like, nah, I ain't believing from the jump. But with the second it happened, my main concern, and I told you this, like I said right, my main concern is always her. Hey, is she gonna be okay? Like, I understand what's going on internally, but 2 questions. Is she gonna be okay? And is this like an abnormal thing that we have to come back and get tested for? Doc reassured me everything was all right. She was gonna be all right. And I said, well, bet.
So I actually do have to go back. And they will do some testing. So we're recording this podcast on Monday. Podcast drops on Tuesday. So that's the day I have to go back to the doctor. And so it's just never ending. So the day that this podcast drops, I'll be at the doctor's office. They have to do another ultrasound to see if I passed everything from the pregnancy. We have to do more blood work to check my pregnancy hormones to see if they've gone back down to 0. And it's just like every day just feels like a really cruel reminder of this. And it just sucks. And the day after I actually passed the baby, Blake and I were walking around
Oh my God.
the neighborhood. And it's crazy because if you ever, like, if you are listening to this and you ever have a miscarriage or you choose to go the natural route, it's like once the baby passes, like your body eases immediately. Like, it's like everything passed and the cramps stopped immediately. I've still had cramping and bleeding on and off since that day. That's another thing. Like, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I don't get to see a baby, and I'm still
You letting the good times bleed. They out here just running them up.
having to deal with this.
Yeah.
But the next day after it happened, Blake and I were walking through the neighborhood, and Blake randomly just said, "Mommy, I'm what'd he say?
I want a sister."
He said, "Mommy, I want a little sister." And that tore me up. And then he had his whole life planned out. He was like, "I want a little sister, and we're going to get another house so she can have her own room, and I'm gonna pay for the house." And
So what did he say again?
he said, "I'm gonna pay for the
I
house."
said, "Thank you, God." He's thinking like I want him to think.
And
He's gonna pay for the house.
we never told him that
Never told him.
that I was pregnant, and we're planning to tell him on his birthday. So his birthday is at the end of this month, it's February 28th, and we have a surprise Disney trip planned for him. And so we were planning to tell him on the Disney trip, and I had bought books, you know, like, you're gonna be a big brother. Hopefully I'll be able to give them to him one day, but it was just
Oh yeah, we shooting it up again. What's up?
for him to ask
I'm straight.
me that the day after everything happened. I was just like, I was like, God, why? Like, why is this happening?
Bruh.
And then you just never know what people are going through, because I've always known not to ask women when they want to have kids, and
I always known that too, but
we went to
don't say it. We went somewhere this weekend.
We went somewhere this weekend, and we were around other families, and it's no knock to the person that we were talking
super
to, because
cool
they didn't
guy.
know.
Like, the guy super legit. He's a 100 guy. I can tell.
But everybody there had 2 kids. And so he asked us, he was like, "He's your only one?" And Bear was like, "Yeah."
Man, my God.
And he was like, "Oh man, y'all bullshitting. Why y'all ain't had the second one yet?"
I'm looking at this nigga. I ain't know what to say, but all I can do is look at him like this. I said, "Hey man, you know, like, hey, me, I got the clay face." I said, "Hey man, we trying. It's not for lack of trying. Man, come on, bro. You need to go ahead and do it." I'm like, "Hey, bro." And me, quickly, trying to change the subject. "Oh, yeah, man, look, we trying, you know, we gonna try. But how many siblings do you have?" I'm abruptly doing everything I can to steer the conversation away from her and her uterus. I'm trying to move it on.
Yeah. And so it's like I've just been having so many encounters like that. And I'm just like,
Did Rihanna and A$AP Rocky pregnant?
I just need a break. I just need a break. I need a break. But yeah, that's what's been going on right now.
Give it up
My
for India,
makeup
man.
is
Hold on,
like
give you a
smearing.
That's brave. That was brave. You want a hug? That's brave. Come on.
So why you rub my titties?
Oh,
Stop.
I'm getting ready because when she come out pelvic rest,
I've been on pelvic rest for 2
it's a
weeks
wild
now.
name, ain't it? Pelvic rest.
So, damn, what was I finna say?
My bad, I play too much.
So it's crazy because obviously we, talked about therapy 2 episodes ago. So at this point we've talked about therapy 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
So the timing was definitely in alignment for that because
Thank God.
it's like we found out that we were having the miscarriage on Thursday, and we already had an appointment set up
Ain't God good?
for that Monday. So we talked, and when we first found out, I had completely separated from Barrett. Like, I didn't want to hear anything that he had to say.
She wanted, and I didn't know what to say either, fellas out there. If you don't know what to say during a miscarriage, hit me up. If you ever, if you're going through it, or if you are in the middle of it, whatever the case is, you're trying to figure out what to say to your significant other, girlfriend, wife, whatever. I feel like I got a better handle on it now, but in the beginning, I was all over the place.
Yeah, and so our therapist was just helping us navigate it as, the best way that we could. And Barrett and I handle grief very differently. Mm-hmm. And so I've pretty much just, closed all the doors to me right now. I've just been so sad. So those first, I don't know, for like 8 days, I didn't even leave the room.
You didn't. You were in the room. Like she didn't leave.
And so Barrett kept trying to be busy. And so he wanted to organize the entire fucking house. He wanted to clean the garage. And when we were talking to the therapist about it, he was just like, it sounds like you're avoiding it. And then the therapist was like, have you told him what you needed? And I'm like, no. But I think in a sense for me, because I've been feeling so much grief over the past couple of months, I'm just tired of telling people what I need. Mm-hmm. And this goes for like Barrett, friends, everybody. I'm tired of telling people what I need. Not saying that anybody should read my mind, but I'm just tired.
I mean, this is the thing, right? You were tired, and me personally. So when he asked that question, like, how do we deal with grief? He said, men go through this stage where they get emotionally hardened, whether it's about the world, it's about like family issue, whatever the case is. He said men go through this stage, and he said because I've dealt with grief throughout like my adult years in different phases. He asked me, was I hardened like by grief? And I said, I don't know, but the only way I know how to deal with grief is to remain busy. It's the only way I know how to deal with it. Like if I'm not working, I might not necessarily cry, but if I'm not working, like I would go crazy if, God forbid, like we lost the baby, it was a miscarriage. If I didn't have anything to do, I would have been like for real freaking out. I probably would have just lost it. I needed something. Organize the garage. Y'all ought to see it. Oh, look, not spick and span. Organize the whole garage. Started fixing stuff in the house. I had to do something, but I kept busy. Kept going with Blake. Like I kept everything moving. And I think India felt, I'm putting words in your mouth right now. India felt as though I was turning my back on the situation, which I told her in the therapy session. That's not even the case. Like it's on the front of my mind, but the way I work through it is to work through it.
But the therapist also told him why that was not working.
Oh yeah, he told.
Because I just didn't have the words to. Like I said, I'm tired of telling people.
But he also told you
what I need.
Because she said she wanted me to be present, and then he said, "What does that mean?" And India was like, I don't know. I just want him to be present. And then he said, well, if he doesn't know what that means, how can he be present? So I told him, I need to be present. He's like, well, I hope you find out what it means. Because I sure don't.
He did say that.
He said, I hope you find out what it means because I don't know what it means. So good luck.
But to me, it was just, because I'm going through this with Barrett, that's who I've gravitated towards. But I'm like, I can't gravitate towards you if you're looking for unnecessary shit to do right now. Like, you're going downstairs to organize the garage, and I really just want you to sit here with me. And I may not even talk to you, but I just need you to be here with me. Because I told him from the jump, I was like, I feel like I'm alone.
You did. And this the part that sucked about this whole thing, man, because I feel like that's why you wanted to come over here and talk about it. Because we ain't know nobody. Like I know I didn't know anybody like that I can reach out to. No guys? Absolutely no guys. But you didn't know anybody, I guess. I don't know. I'll let you just
No,
you're not saying anybody's name. You found somebody.
I reached out to one person because I remember her briefly saying that she had experienced 2 miscarriages. And she has 2 babies now, but between each of her children, she experienced a miscarriage. And so I reached out to her. And it was just nice because the way that her husband dealt with it was similar to the way that Barrett was handling it. And
fellas, let me tell you
to
the thing.
me, I just think that men, they don't feel it the way that we do because we're the one that's carrying it.
That's true.
And I also feel that also applies to other people. It's like people don't understand the magnitude of the grief because they can't see what or who you're grieving.
It's a big bad boy, man. I'm telling y'all, it's real.
And it's like you're breathing. It's like, for me, it felt like to other people, the baby wasn't real. You know?
But
it was very real
Listen,
to us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know a lot of women go through it. Maybe more women should talk. And even once I had made up my decision, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go the natural route for the miscarriage. I was trying to Google everything. I'm like, what am I supposed to expect in this? Like, what is supposed to be happening? And I could find nothing. Like, no information or anything. And so that was also frustrating. And my therapist, he was like, do you have like a group of friends?
Sure did.
Like, because he talked about in like biblical times and like sister circles and stuff like that. I said, yeah, I do. But what am I supposed to say to them? Like, I really feel like this is something that you do not truly get unless you have one. Because even like with me talking to the nurses at the hospital, you know, and them saying like, oh, you're having like the period like cramps. And I'm like, no, that's not what this is. This is not what this feels like. So I don't know. Maybe more people should talk about it.
Well, then you got a lot of books too, didn't you?
I did.
My girl had Amazon. She had Amazon on lock.
And that's just
week.
because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's still very fresh. And I'm like, I don't know how else to get through it. So I have been ordering a lot of books. One of them, not a fan. I may not even finish that one.
What is it? I said, what's the name of it for those of you who want to know?
It's called the Miscarriage Map, but I think I was looking for something that was more so along the lines of like, okay, I've had the miscarriage. Like, how do I heal from this? Yeah. Like, how do I move on with my life? How do I not envy other women who are pregnant and thriving? And I haven't found anything like that. So that sucks.
Well, I think the biggest thing that you've done is today. I mean, like, you don't know who you might be helping. Because I told you, I was ready to talk about a whole gang of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had a whole gang of stuff to come here and talk about. So I just want to commend you for even having the courage to get on here and do something like this. You know what I mean? A lot of people wouldn't have done it. I'm still in disbelief that you did. But I'm proud of you, though. I'm proud of you for real.
Yeah.
You need a vacation. That's what you've been telling me you need. So if anybody, I'm going to sort of GoFundMe out there. If anybody, I'm just playing. I started GoFundMe. It's crazy. I'm ridiculous. Why would I say something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I have other thoughts, but they're kind of fleeting away from me at this point.
You've done enough.
I'm tired.
I think you've said enough. Give it up, man. Give me. I mean, I know this doesn't deserve a round of applause, but your courage queen deserves a round of applause. And I would say something else about therapy, right? It came at the right time. I told my wife, this spiritual shit really works.
How you
Shout out to
can't
Jay-Z.
keep calling it spiritual
That's what
shit.
Jay-Z said on the song. But anyway, this entire time, I thought when people say, you need to read the Bible with your significant other. You need to sit down and y'all need to comb through the Bible and read the Bible. This entire time, I thought it really meant starting at Genesis, going from book 1 to Revelations, the end of the Bible. So I thought you picked, you just read through the Bible. That ain't what it means. It means that you find a moment in your life and you figure out a scripture, a prayer, and you go and you read that with your significant other, whatever point in your life that is, and you let that minister to you. That's what my man, Mr. Mickles, told me. And this whole time, I'm sitting there like, bro, you want me to do what? You want me to read the Bible? So you want me to sit down? All right, Indy, tonight, 1 John chapter 5, let's go. But it ain't even like that. I'm so excited to know that I ain't got to do it like that. I didn't know.
But we have been sitting down.
Yeah,
and
man.
he even tried to fight me on this. But I was like, bro, whatever. You don't read the Bible enough to know what you even like. Just shut up.
I didn't.
And so I was like, let's just go to the Bible app and find a plan that talks about marriage. And so we are in the middle of a plan together.
Yeah, it's dope too.
And it's like a devotional. We just do it every night before bed. And it has been helping. And I do remember at some point last year, even towards the end of last year, I prayed and I was like, I want to grow closer to my husband. And you really got to be careful when you say stuff like that because this hurts and it fucking sucks. But it has definitely been drawing us closer together.
Man, with tragedy comes closeness, I guess. You know what I mean? So I hate it had to be. I hate it. We had to go this route.
And I also think it's hard for people to understand when you already have a baby. It's like just because you have another kid doesn't make it any less devastating.
Oh, this is what I was going to say. My advice. Can I hit the button real fast? I just got one tip. Can I hit it?
Now unqualified advice from
Here I
B
go.
Love and B Love's relation tip.
I got the keys. Fellas out there, listen up. If you ever go through a situation like this, after you ask the doctor, is everything going to be okay? And the doctor comes back to you and she says yes. Don't go out in the parking lot and then start coaching your wife up. I did that. Boy, we got out there parking lot. You good. You going to be all right. We just going to try it again. Well, how many weeks you got? Whenever them weeks up, bam, we right back to it. You healthy, I'm healthy, let's try again. You had one, you can have another. Come on, you can do it. I didn't know.
And I think I ignored him the rest of the day.
Think. You mean think? No, you did.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, man. And I apologize.
Yeah.
In therapy and everything else, because I told the therapist I did that old crazy shit. But I told him exactly what I did. What I did right there was exactly kind of what I did. Probably that exaggerated too. So don't be like me. Be better than me.
And you can't say just try again. Go have another baby. I'm still processing this one.
It's tough.
Because it was, again, it was an actual baby.
It was in there.
So I can't even think of when I want. I can't even think about that.
Yeah, we take it one day at a time. If she plans to do it whenever it's ready, say, be love, let it loose. That's what I'm gonna do. If she says she ain't ready, that's what I'm gonna do. Woman's body, her choice. And that's how I'm giving it up. India, tell the people where they can find you at, girl.
India.Marie on Instagram.
You can find me at BLove1911 on all social platforms. Be sure to follow She and I Podcast on Instagram. Leave us a message at sheandipodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to YouTube right now. If you haven't done it, do it. If you're listening, go to YouTube later on and subscribe. Thank you, India. I will never end like this, but I talk play all day. I think this was big of you. I want to tell you that I love you, and you have a lot of courage for getting on a public forum and letting people know what you've been going through is physical and what we've been going through emotional. So, girl, you are a godsend, an angel. That's how I'm giving it up. And in the meantime, in between time, guess what it is? It's been real. It's been fun. I out.